Frieda Morrison. And it seems like near that long ago, we had the pleasure of joining the Doric Film Festival team at a gathering in the Belmont Cinema in Aberdeen to take part in the first Doric Film Festival Awards ceremony. And fit an event that was. They came from near and as far away as Peterhead, Rain North, Portsoy, Ellen, Portlethen, Crathy, Afford, Inverurie and Torry. They came in their buses and trains and everything, in their best clothes, tiaras, bow ties, hats and dark glasses, special taps with logos, ready for the Oscars. We had trained and crafted musicians, poised on the button, looking alert and smart. We had speakers, we had performers, we had messages for Hollywood directors. We had a special event. So we haven't been able to get back to quite the same platform. Lockdown and legalities created some different challenges. Now, what you're about to see here today is next to a miracle. Despite all the odds, we have films for individuals and groups and primary schools. They're all local heroes. And as I said, since the start of lockdown, we haven't been able to get back to that routine or the Belmont. But rather than postpone this year's event, we thought we would try out a new system. Could we? Would we? Should we? We didn't ken. This is what we did. We put out an invitation for filmmakers to submit their ideas for a 5-minute film in Doric under the title Just For I Bide. And with the help and support for your sponsors, we would offer 10 filmmakers financial awards to help them make their films. Would anybody apply? Would it be too hard under lockdown? Could they do it without practical help, editing, film and storyboarding? We didn't ken. If it happened, we got 27 applications, bizarre ideas. The appointed judges had a hard job to decide and whittle down the chosen entries. But through it all, the trials and tribulations of making a film adhering to social distancing and lockdown regulations, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to announce, and indeed with great pride in the endeavour and the tenacity of our North East filmmakers, I can reveal that we have not just 10 films, we have 12 new films presented today for the Doric Film Festival. And before we go there, let's remind you of some of the films that were shown on that eventful day at the Belmont Cinema. It was the culmination of months of preparation and rehearsals with schools, community groups and individuals, all coming from round the northeast corner of Scotland. The participants were asked to make a film of 5 minutes long on the theme that the northeast means to me. Here's a short collage of the films.
Aye, aye, Frieda, fit like the day.
Well, well, my bonny loons and lasses.
How are you?
Oh, it's yourself?
Give me a minute, Dee. Come away, and here's an invitation to the Doric Film Festival.
Oh, fancy.
So fit's going on. That's a half a bonny wee huddicky you've got here.
Love to share it with yourselves.
And it's the second thing to mind is
I just wanted to give everybody in the North East some encouragement to, one, keep making films, and two, keep speaking Doric, because it's such a massive part of who we are and what we end up doing.
Amazing films, but to this year's event. To set the scene for the Doric Film Festival 2021, let me welcome to the podium my all-time superhero, multitasking trainer, editor, technical wizard and judge, the very legendary Josh Bircham.
Thanks very much, Frieda. Well, wow. What an amazing selection of films we've had at this year's Doric Film Festival, and well done to absolutely everybody involved, from those in the individual category to the groups and the schools as well. We've seen an outstanding level of quality from this year's films. We've seen the use of green screen. We've seen original songs composed for these films. We've seen stunning landscapes from the top to the very bottom of Aberdeenshire. I'm really looking forward to you seeing these films along with us as we go through this Doric Film Festival showing today. For now, I'll hand back over to Frieda to kick things off with this year's Doric Film Festival. Over to you.
Thank you, Josh. And a very special mention and thank you to Kippy Lodge, our hosts for this event this year. Much appreciated. Sit back and enjoy the amazing lineup of ideas and locations. The theme, just to remind you folk, the filmmakers were asked to make a 5-minute film in Doric, North East Scots, under the theme Just for a Bide. And the format for today, we will play a 30-second clip or thereby of each of the films. The completed films, remember, can all be seen on our webpage, www.doricfilmfestival.com. So, we start with the individuals. The lineup is the biggest category this year. This is for Alec Westwood, a blethering bus driver, bothers and berates Aberdeen needing a run on the 212 to Torfins. This is The Feel at the Wheel.
Aye, aye.
Aye, aye. Steppy up, eh?
Oh, am I?
Well, aye. A big improvement.
Can we just get on?
Fit if you mean. Big improvement.
If you're the last blonde you took on here for a ride.
Come on, let's go sit down now.
You try your best to help folk this too. As far as I get you. Nay, why?
The Feel at the Wheel for Alec Westwood. Congratulations, Alec, and to the cast. Next up, for Fergus Cruikshank with The Journey, the memory of the abandoned rail line and a cultural monument in Afford.
It had quite an element of pride being the only quine doing it and driving a train. That was just, I don't think I've worn a cap since, actually.
It just looks a forgotten area.
And being back, like, you still get that spark even though it's in a bit of a sorry state.
Thank you, Fergus, a great film. Next, a film by Grace Banks featuring our North East Maca, Sheena Blackhall, with memories of our childhood. The title, Deeside, my bairnhood baccy.
I was a salmon's bairn, siller scaled in the sun. I kent I would always return and thought her flesh to the water. Deeside woomed me. My vertebrae are the steens o' Glengairn, Glenmick. I didn't mind going out to the Dee for the shack with a Julie jar and a bandy net. And I come home to manage to get 6 bandies for the side of the band at the wee dooker. One of the engineers stuck his head up for under a bus and he said, I hope you can, that's poaching. I said, no, why? He says, you see, if the keepers come to hear about us, you'll be in a court.
Great to capture the memories, Grace and Sheena. Some very special memories there. The next in, Nat Rowbotham presents us with a soundscape of the North East. The film card, The Homecoming.
Fit van second nacht is Gargier bleed red caal. Scotland's blackest wolves could be confronted by a countless sheep they led astray. No hungered, sair sickened to pay back. Sma chance, the mare's a pity.
Thank you, Nat, for the homecoming. And then Tom Spears gives us the only animation film. This is called The Adventure, about twa mannies, a dominie and a minister, raking about for treasure in Aberdeenshire. The treasure turns out to be a special kind of hidden wealth.
This is a true story about twa mannies fatting up exploring and for a great treasure. Een was the dominie of a wee squeal in White Hill, just aside New Deer. The other een was a minister at Glenturk, aside Afford. Now, when I say they team up exploring, I dinna mean they were canoeing down rivers in Alaska, or clambering over tow brigs in deepest Africa, or hunting for queer beasties in the Amazon. Na, their exploring teen place recht for I bide in the heart of Aberdeenshire, more than 100 years syne.
Thank you to Tom Spears, that's perfect for schools, Tom. Next, a proud Doric man finally gets the opportunity to speak about what his home tune means to him. Title, Just For I Bide, by Jericho Reid.
Now, what does the northeast of Scotland mean to you? What does the northeast of Scotland mean to me? Well,
I've heard some folks say Aberdeen is dull. And when the weather's bad, when you've got a sea, a sky and all the buildings the exact same shade of grey, it can seem a bit dreich right enough. But on a good days, there's no a place in the world like it. When the sun hits the granite just right, and the whole city sparkles like a diamond. It's no just my hymn tune, it's my way of life. It's all the thoughts in my head and all the words out my mouth. It's poetry, and it's magic, and there's no other place like it. It's just for a bide. Get what I mean? Cheery up.
That happens in the door. It's so like a thing. And that concludes the individual category. And we are honoured and delighted to get this film recording for our best Kent North East actors. And one of my all-time favourites. I'll never forget her performance in I, Elvis, written by another North East quine, Morna Young, if I will hear from you later. For the set of BBC's drama series River City, Joyce Faulkner sends us this message.
Fit like Aberdeen. Well done to Aberdeen that managed to enter. And that was an achievement in itself. This COVID carry on. I'm here on the set of Shieldinch, Scotland's soap River City, and I'm keeping a good North East tongue in my head to represent our bit of the country. All the best and well done.
Thank you, Joyce. Much appreciated. Now on with the schools category, and I'm delighted to say that we had 3 schools making it through the most challenging times and demanding times of lockdown. First up, this is Fitter Angus School with Just For a Bide. A new pupil joins the school and the pupils take great pride in showing her room.
Hey, I've got a good idea. How about we show Evie our favourite game? Cooper, hand out walkie-talkies. Abdi, stick to the boundaries. You've got 10 minutes to run. Evie, you go with them, okay? Go, go, go!
We'll go to the green. We're going to the woods. We'll take the dog. This is the woodies. Loads of folk like to whack their dwags here. All the way from Russia, and she kens Man City. Mental.
Well done, that school, for a great theme, for a good job you made it. Next in is Hillside Primary, Portlethen. And this has included some amazing Outlander type magic in another lovely slant on Just For a Bide.
Fit an amazing bit of history. Kathy, what do you like doing in your spare time? I like to play golf. Mr. Leslie, Hillside Squeal's Dominie, was playing golf. He loves a good game. Yay!
Denise and Whale Dean hillside, you just get better and better. Against a lot of odds, you got there. Lovely, imaginative turn on the transport problems. Just going through a portal and getting from Aberdeen to Stonehaven in seconds. It's great. Our final film in the schools lineup this year comes from Fyvie Primary School. A film called The Green Lady Gings for a Gander. This is spooky.
He'd and his new wife came to Fyvie, but I was here and me know it. I feared them all by appearing on their wedding night.
Ooh, this looks like a school. This is our bank. It used to be a saddler's and a hairdresser, and now it's someone's house. What a wonderful place Fyvie is. I just love where I bide. Guys, look! Who's on the swing?
The Green Lady Gings for a Gander, and it's a cracker for Fyvie as well. Big congratulations to our schools. And that concludes the schools lined up for this year. Mona Young for Burghead is one of Scotland's best kent and most successful playwrights, writing for the National Theatre and some of our most iconic theatre productions. One of my favourites being I, Elvis, that I mentioned earlier. Mona sent us this message.
Hello Aberdeen, I'm Morna Young, a scriver of plays, and I'm fair chuffed to contribute a few words to this year's Doric Film Festival. Aberdeen that's played a part in this year's festival, each vice included in the making of these films is adding to our history. A film is forever, and each of these films is an important, vital part of the Scots journey. Just for I bide, the theme of this year's festival encompasses that every vice for the North East is unique. My tongue, for Burghead, is different to a quine for the next tune, and a loon for the tune after that. We a speak our ain way, and each and every filmmaker is helping to add to a canon of work that captures that diversity. Never forget that we are the custodians of our lead, and it's up to us to protect it, to celebrate it, to stand tall and proud and speak our words with passion. So well done for all the work achieved in the making of these films. Here's to you all.
Thank you to Mona Young, much appreciated. So we finish with our group category, and again we have something special to show you. Themes totally different and varied. So we start with a group for the National Karate Institute. Now Aberdeen is famous for karate. We have one of the highest graded and celebrated senseis still teaching here in the city. Ronnie Watt, New 73, has been teaching karate for more than 5 decades. And through his efforts, Aberdeen has become a centre of excellence for Shotokan karate, kent throughout the world. Let's enjoy this film called The Karate Mani.
We travelled all over the world with karate. I went to France and trained with famous instructors, and I went to Crystal Palace for 35 years training with Anoida, Kasi, Shirai, all the most famous karate instructors at the time. Loved training with them and developing what I could. Went to Japan and trained at the courses there. Invited all the top karate masters to come to Aberdeen, and a highlight was Mr. Nakayama, the highest instructor in the world, came here in 1981, and I was the only instructor who had Sensei Nakayama as a private course, so that was very special for me.
Thank you to Abdi involved. Special mention to our own karate mani, our team musician Charlie Abel, for making that film possible. Now the layers that mark up this festival are many and varied. Taking pride in our heritage is one. Taking pride in where we come frae and the folk we come frae is another. But one of my favourite bits in the process is the coming together or folk or like mind, to work on the themes, to work on their visions. And this next film is a great example of that process. It's the coming together of Jill McWilliam, Gordon Mackay and Debbie Leslie that mark up the combined entry for Doric TV. This is a film that will resonate with a lot of folk. The story of a quine that finds comfort walking in the footsteps of our Fairman ancestors, memories of their wise and their braid Doric language, and the story of the land and the folk that helped shape it. This is a film called For We Abide.
Those hardy, braid-spicking, canny, close-knit folk, it chaved and all withers to bracken this land with the boo of their backs and the sweat of their brows. And as I stand, with the wind in my face and the cry of the scurries I been my heed, I see their ghosts working silently in the parks, shadows of the past, a maving tapestry of ilky change that's come to pass. Fit we do the day will shape the future for our bairns. So let's strive to leave a world worth inheriting, a place of kindness, hope and laughter. After all, this amazing planet is home to us all, for we all bide.
Congratulations to the team for Doric TV. And as I said, the memories that were conjured up in that film will resonate with a lot of folk. Pride and far we come fae, and the folk we come fae. Now, our final film will maybe contain a few surprises. It's a familiar theme in money wise. It's a film made by a group made up of Duncan Harley, Charlie Abel and Fred Wilkinson, called collectively Iron Brew. They were one of the star groups in the previous festival with their film with the Achy Bray Fair. But this time, this group have turned their attention to an unsung hero, for a song has been sung for generations. The song could be called the North East National Anthem. It is, of course, the Northern Lights of Old Aberdeen, written by Mary Webb. So to finish this festival showcase, sit back and enjoy this snippet for a film called I'm Afa Proud of My Song, the Mary Webb story.
The northern lights of old Aberdeen mean home, sweet home to me. The northern lights of Aberdeen, that's where I long to be.
A song described by the Mark-born journalist Jack Webster is that anthem of Aberdeen kent all the world. When Mary died, Jack Webster wrote, few folk fra she come frae had any idea of her significance. Ne'er truer word spoken. Turns out the song was written to cheer up another kitschy dame, a lonely quine fra came frae Aberdeen, Winnie Forgie, fra Mary Fairlick. Her piano and her ashes come north to Aberdeen. Nobody had claimed Mary's body, and aside frae Jack Webster, nobody was sick in a job of getting shot of her piano. As luck would hae it sign, Jack was filming a documentary series for the BBC, and we'd you lose that the BBC fitted the bill for transporting the piano to Aberdeen.
Afa Proud of My Song, the Mary Webb story, by the collective group under the title of Iron Brew. Duncan Harley, Charlie Abel and Fred Wilkinson. Well done, lads, for the story. And lovely to hear you mention Jack Webster in that film. And that concludes this virtual showing of the prize films, chosen by the DFF judges to be our chosen films to represent the Doric Film Festival 21. So, on behalf of the judges and the management team, I welcome the money that keeps us all knitted together to say a few words. I welcome Jim Brown, MBE.
Well, thank you very much, Frieda, for that kind introduction. Now, I'm delighted to be standing here today in Kepi Lodge at our virtual Doric Festival. Against all odds, it has happened. It has taken a great deal of work, worry, thought, and innovation from Frieda Morrison and her team to bring this together. Well done to you all. Doric has been expressed over the years in song, poetry and literature, but with the huge advances in the technology of social media and filming, Frieda's vision was right. Doric expressed in film. The entries have been outstanding and have been put together by a wide age range of filmmakers from all different backgrounds and with all levels of expertise, but all with one ambition: to have their ideas, reflection and character expressed in Doric on film. We are trying to preserve our Northeast language, Doric, open up the treasures that have been written in Doric, give the youngsters a special sense of their identity, all done in a new medium now, available to us all. Doric has been impacted by so many changes. It is right that we should use change to reinvigorate it. Just far I bide is a very wide theme and has been interpreted beautifully and so differently by our filmmakers in our thoughts, social history, music, individuality, animation, transport, magic, and even karate. All expressed so well in Doric and laced with that typical Northeast humour. Our festival was very successful in 2019, and we were able to highlight our films and our sponsors on the big screen at the Belmont Cinema. This year, we are greatly indebted to Kepi Lodge for readily agreeing to host our event today. It's a superb venue with a host of facilities, and the management and staff's cooperation and hospitality has made us feel very welcome. Its location just off the Aberdeen Western Peripheral Route is just ideal for such an occasion. Sadly, the pandemic caused us to cancel in 2020, and we were really worried about sponsorship, how difficult it would be to find for this virtual festival. Times have been hard for potential sponsors. To our surprise, our original sponsors remained completely loyal, and we gained another 3. So our thanks go to Aberdeen and Northern March, their charitable group. Throughout the pandemic, this cooperative group has performed miracles, keeping the sale of huge numbers of livestock and farm implements going, whilst keeping sellers and buyers completely safe. For a company that hosts the biggest Doric festival every Friday, our film festival is a good fit. Press and Journal, founded in 1747, the P&J with 6 geographic editions has been a remarkable constant in the Northeast and has covered all the forces, industries, wars and social movements that have affected the usage of Doric. The William Grant Foundation, William Grant and Sons, the distillers, has always taken a long-term view to support the people and has a long tradition of supporting community groups and charities. One of the main tenets of their commitment is to sustain the unique culture and heritage of Scotland. The owners, the Grants and the Gordons, have a huge interest in Doric and maintain their family roots in the remote Cabrach. The Grassach Gibbon Centre to Arbuthnott, founded in 1989, and profiles the life and works of Lewis Grassach Gibbon, who wrote so memorably in his famous trilogy, The Scots Square, of the time when the sun set on the traditional Northeast life, with its huge impact on Doric. The Ferracairn Burns Club, an old established club that realises the importance of the Scots language on the popularity of Burns' works, and tries to incorporate song and poetry in Doric language in its annual celebration. The Scottish Government has been very supportive. The Deputy First Minister John Swinney said, "These projects will have lasting benefits for the community and the language, particularly during these challenging COVID times." And our new sponsors, Malcolm Allen, House Builders Limited. From humble beginnings, Malcolm has built up a very successful farming and building business. He is a fine Doric speaker and a very funny and couthy after-dinner speaker. the Lochter Activity Centre at O'Meldrum, run by the Farming Websters, who are great supporters of local charities and have never lost their fine Doric tongue. And finally, Newton Bar, who are financial advisors based in Edinburgh. Jerry Sadak, a director whose family came from Poland. Jerry has a great empathy with different languages and dialects, and he has many Doric-speaking clients in the Northeast, and he saw it as a very worthy recipient of his sponsorship. Our thanks then to all the sponsors for their generous support. Well, Frieda, you along with your team and hundreds involved in the film making have done it again. And buoyed up by its resounding success, we look forward to 2022. So, let's get our roosted spads out, our gouds nae buried deep, and spread it thick our buchan. It's been far or lang asleep. Keep up the good work, Frieda.
Thank you, Jim. And remember that other films can be seen in their complete form on our Doric Film Festival website, www.doricfilmfestival.com. Dinna put off, have a look and enjoy. So Aberdeen, let us raise a cheery glass. We'll leave you with some of the photos for the filmmakers during the making of their films for the Doric Film Festival 2021. And let us toast the filmmakers of the Northeast. And here's to the next Doric Film Festival. Here's you back.